Now we have a little presentation, if you're ready, from his brother Gordy. You need a moment? That's okay.
I can always tell when I'm with family because I'm Gordy. Other than that, I'm Gord. I'm Gord Kennedy, Lyle's brother. Lyle, my sister Shirley, and I grew up on a farm outside of Crono, which is near Regina. He was 9 years older than me. I don't remember a lot from when I was a kid, but I remember one time Lyle was rod weeding the field. For those who don't know, rod weeder is a implement that you pull the tractor and the rod is turned underground and it weeds as you go along. And so Lyle says, Gord, lie on the ground and I'll pull this rod weeder over you. And I don't know, Lyle, that's probably not a good idea. But I was probably about 5 or 6. That sticks in my mind. And so I don't know if it was my intelligence or it was just chicken, but it never came to fruition. Lyle was a real sportsman, and he used to play baseball and hockey and football, and when he'd come home, when I was in 8 or 9 years old, and we'd always go out and throw the ball around. And had fun, and Lyle would always like to practice kicking field goals, so Gord had to hold the football for him. And knowing the rod weeder incident, I never trusted him. I would always let go of the ball before he got there. But he was a good brother to play with. When he was curling, he was a good curler. He was on a team with Uncle Cliff when they lived in Saskatoon, and they were in the north-south playdowns. And had they won, they would have gone to the Brier. They lost. They didn't make it to the Brier. But he was a very good curler, very good ball player. He was a real sportsman. He really liked sports cars, and he had an MGA. That was his first sports car, was an MGA, and he came to the farm with it, of course, and I would have been 13, 14, something like that. And Lyle, and I had a cousin on the farm. He lived just across the road from us, and Lyle said, here's the keys. You guys can go out in the field and drive it. And it was a harvest time, so we set up a Grand Prix racetrack with bales around so we could race his MGA. The only condition was that when we were done, well, 2 conditions. One, don't wreck it. And 2, when you're done, you have to clean it out and vacuum it and wash it, because as you can imagine, driving around in the stubble in September, October, it was a little bit dusty, but not many brothers would do that, I don't think, with their brand new MGA. But he trusted us. And we washed it, we vacuumed it.
What color was it?
Red. Yeah, with Lyle there was only one good color, it was red. But no, the gray would have been his. The next car he bought was a Austin Healey 3000 Mark II. That he wouldn't let us drive around in the field. Lyle attended the University of Saskatchewan, and summers he got a job in working with geodetic surveys, and he did that for a couple summers, and then decided that maybe engineering wasn't for him, and he would survey. So he went surveying, and when he had some surveying to do around Chrono. So he and I was, again, I'm like 12, 13, something like that. And Lyle was 9 years older than me. So he says, Gord, let's go surveying. So Gord went out with Lyle, and we went to Jameson, which was just north of Chrono, and we did some surveying there. And I had what was later learned was called the dumb end of the chain. But that's what I was given, and did my best to help him do some legal surveying. And later on, when it was 1966, I was 19, through school, and hadn't really had much of a job yet. And then Lyle called. He says, "Why don't you come to?" He was working in Mayerthorpe, and he says, "Come to Mayerthorpe, and we'll get you a job there." So I packed my bags and Chrono, and in my Mercedes-Benz 180D, and went out with 400,000 miles on it, and drove to Mayerthorpe and got a job there as a laborer. Lyle was the resident engineer, and as part of his being a resident engineer was all the surveying of the site. So Gord got the opportunity to again survey with Lyle. I think I might have got the smart end of the chain by that time, and he taught me how to survey, taught me how to read blueprints,